You ever wake up on a Saturday morning thinking life's finally cutting you a break, sun's out, no alarms, no deadlines, just family, and a full day ahead, and then watch it unravel into a nightmare you couldn't have scripted? That was me. A few months ago. My wife had the day off, which almost never happens. My 18-year-old son was home from his summer job, and for once, our plan was simple. A grocery run, a big one. We had her sister and her kids coming to stay for a couple weeks, so we were stocking up like we were feeding an army. Warehouse club, farmer's market, regular grocery store, you name it. We hit it. By the time we pulled back into our driveway, the back of the SUV was packed so high, you could barely see out the rearview mirror. I stepped out in my Saturday uniform, old tank top, basketball shorts, and my son tied back his long dreads with that same look of, let's just get this over with. We popped the trunk, and there it was, a mountain of cereal boxes, cases of water, bags of rice, frozen pizzas stacked like bricks. We were about to strategize who carried what when it happened. That shriek. It cut through the quiet like a knife. I looked up and there she was. Across the street, hose still running into her perfect lawn hair, sprayed helmet blonde that could have survived a hurricane pink blouse and those sagging brown pants. Her face was twisted up, finger jabbing straight at us like she was calling out an armed robbery. Are you starting a supermarket in my neighborhood? You people don't belong with that much food. I froze. My son froze. It was one of those moments where the words hang in the air so loud your brain takes a second to catch up. I thought maybe I misheard. But my son looked at me eyes wide and I knew we hadn't. That venom was aimed right at us. I tried, God help me, I tried to stay calm. Ma'am, you're mistaken, I said, holding grocery bags like some kind of idiot prop. We're just unloading food for our family. Mistaken. Her face went redder. I know exactly what I see. You're running an illegal business selling food without a license. That's what your kind does, always scheming, always hustling. It was so absurd, part of me wanted to laugh. Except it wasn't funny. My son's jaw clenched, his knuckles whitening around the bags. He was ready to fire back, and who could blame him? But I pressed his shoulder, signaling him to let me handle it. Ma'am, this is just groceries, I said again, a little sharper now. We've got relatives visiting, that's it. She marched closer to the sidewalk, voice rising, pulling in the neighbors like she was staging a performance. Relatives. Don't give me that. Ever since you moved in, it's cars coming and going, loud music, suspicious activity. Normal families don't buy that much food. You're hoarding it, selling it on the black market. That's when my son snapped. My kind, he shouted back. What's that supposed to mean? Her eyes locked on him, and the words came out like poison. You disrespectful boy with that hair and those clothes, I know what you're about. No good, just like the rest of them. That was my breaking point. You come after me, fine. But my son, absolutely not. My voice dropped low. Enough. You're on my property, harassing my family. Go back to your house now. She put on a show of fake shock. Oh, you're threatening me, two big men ganging up on a single elderly woman. I feel very unsafe. I'm calling the police. Out came the phone, shaking like she'd rehearsed this her whole life. My heart sank because I knew where this was headed. My son, thank God, pulled out his own phone and started recording. She saw him and shrieked, "He's recording me!" That's intimidation. And then into the phone. Yes, operator, send someone right away. They've got stolen goods. I'm afraid for my life. Within minutes, sirens pierced the air. 2 squad cars pulled up, lights bouncing off the trees, neighbors' curtains twitching, the whole block watching like it was a circus. 2 officers got out, both white. They didn't come to us first, they went to her. She clutched her chest like she was auditioning for Broadway. crying. "Oh, thank God you're here. They threatened me. Look at their car. It's full of stolen items." By the time they walked over to us, my stomach was in my shoes. The younger one had already unsnapped his holster. I whispered to my son, "Keep recording. Don't say a word." The older cop asked flatly, "We got a call about a disturbance." "This lady says you threatened her." Mind explaining, I forced myself to stay even. "Officer, with respect. That's not true. We were unloading groceries. She came over yelling accusations, that's all." The younger one scoffed. "Groceries? Why would she call over groceries?" I bit my tongue. How do you explain irrational hate to someone who doesn't want to hear it? So I just said, "You'd have to ask her. This is our home. That's our food." Then came the kicker. "She's accusing you of stolen goods," the older one said. "Mind if we take a look?" It wasn't really a request. I stepped aside, teeth clenched, because saying no would have lit the match. They poked through the bags, soda, oranges, the coffee maker box. The older one muttered, "Looks like groceries to me." The younger still glared at us like we'd stashed a weapon under the ice cream. Finally, after way too long, they gave me back my ID. And then they had the nerve to lecture us. "Try to be better neighbors. Keep the noise down. We don't want to come back." I can't describe the humiliation. Standing in my driveway, groceries melting, treated like a criminal, while the woman who set the whole thing in motion smiled smugly on the sidewalk. That night, my wife Maria was livid. They searched our car on our own property because that woman said so. She was shaking with fury. Our son lifted his phone. "We have it all," he said. "The whole second half. People need to see this." I hesitated, putting our faces online, inviting strangers into our pain that terrified me. But he was right. If we stayed silent, it would just keep happening. So we wrote a calm, factual post, attached the video, and hit upload. By morning, our phones wouldn't stop buzzing. The video had blown up hundreds of thousands of views, then 1 million. Strangers from across the country sending support, calling my son a hero for recording. And of course the trolls too, spewing slurs, accusing us of lying. Our trauma had become content, and the fallout at home was just as explosive. Some neighbors brought over pie or wine, whispering apologies, offering support. Others avoided us completely, their silence louder than words. A few houses down, the ones with the flag on the porch started glaring every time we stepped outside. Then Karen, or as I'd started calling her, the Pink Menace, doubled down. Filed a false police report claiming we'd threatened her after the officers left. A detective called accusing us of witness intimidation. My blood ran cold until I remembered our security cameras. The footage proved we never left our driveway. That saved us, but it showed how far she was willing to go. Next came the HOA notices. Trash cans out too long, lawn too tall, basketball hoop a permanent structure, each one carrying threats of fines. She was weaponizing bureaucracy now. Our lawyer fired off letters, but the stress was eating us alive. And then Sarah, our kind neighbor, dropped a bombshell. Turns out the Pink Menace grew up in that house. Her family once owned a chunk of the land before losing it in the 80s. She'd harassed every non-white family who'd lived in our home since. Digging deeper, we found old property records, covenants banning anyone not Caucasian from owning. Her father's name was on them. It hit me like ice. She wasn't just a bitter neighbor, she saw herself as a guardian of a racist legacy. The breaking point came one afternoon when Maria was gardening. Karen stood on her lawn staring, then said, loud enough for us all to hear, "People who cause trouble. Sometimes accidents happen. Would be a shame if something happened to that nice car." Maria stormed inside, shaking. Our son caught it all on video. With that, we filed for a restraining order. In court, the judge played both recordings, the false accusations, and now the direct threat. Her lawyer tried to spin it as neighborly advice. The judge cut him off cold. "This is harassment. It stops today. 3-year restraining order granted." For a few weeks, things went quiet, but she wasn't done. One night at 2 a.m., our cameras caught her sneaking along our driveway in a hoodie spray paint in hand. She scrawled the ugliest slur across my car and started on our house wall. We called 911, stayed inside, and this time the police arrived fast. Headlights lit her up, can still in hand. They cuffed her right on her pristine lawn while we watched from the window. That arrest was the end. She pleaded guilty to vandalism with a hate crime enhancement, got probation, fines, counseling, and a 10-year restraining order. The HOA sent an apology. Neighbors scrubbed the graffiti off our walls together. Slowly, painfully, our street started to heal. Months later, a for sale sign went up in her yard. She moved away in shame. And one Saturday morning, as I was unloading groceries again, a new family pulled into her driveway, a young black couple with a little girl. The dad waved. "Hey, neighbor," he said with a smile. I smiled back, for real this time. "Welcome to the neighborhood." It hit me then. Our fight wasn't just for us. It was for them and anyone else who might have stood in her crosshairs. We'd been dragged through hell, but maybe we'd change this street for the better. So tell me, what would you have done? Would you have gone public with the video knowing it would bring trolls and threats as well as support? Do you think the restraining order and probation were enough justice? Or should she have faced real prison time for what she did? Drop your thoughts down below, because this one isn't just my story. It's a bigger question about what kind of neighbors, what kind of communities we're willing to accept. And if you've ever had to stand your ground against someone like that, I want to hear about it.